Hello, this is S.K. Williams, and this video was intended to be a video about St. Patrick's Day, and to an extent it is. This will be my video I upload for St. Patrick's Day. And I do wish, at the start and end of this video, to mention the great saint, and ask those to keep him in mind on the commemoration of him and his conversion of Ireland to Christianity, and the great contributions he has given to culture and to life and to the Church. However, and I believe the saint would understand and wholeheartedly endorse what I am about to say, I cannot in good conscience make this video solely about St. Patrick, because the day in which we honor a great man who strove for peace and who brought real and good and effective change, all in the interest of the brotherhood of all mankind, has been tarnished with blood. Using the Gregorian calendar, on the 18th of March, 2019, an Australian man, as well as 3 accomplices, entered into a mosque frequented by people largely of brown skin, many of whom of immigrant backgrounds, some of whom immigrants themselves to New Zealand, in the city of ChristChurch. He opened fire, and at the time of this recording, approximately 50 people have died. I haven't checked the latest numbers. It's been rather depressing. I do intend on doing a longer video discussing this man and his motives. The media is of course calling him far right. This is not actually accurate, but anytime someone commits an act of racism, they accuse them of being right-wing, because they seem to think only right-wingers can be racist. But that is not relevant here. I want to do a video dealing with his motives and the crisis that faces our civilization later. What is important now isn't where he falls on the political spectrum or how we label him. It's that approximately 50 people who were simply worshipping God according to the dictates of their conscience were murdered. I myself am a Christian. But that doesn't mean that I wish harm on any, and I don't see any reason why people should attack or murder others based upon differences in religion or race. Though in terms of this attack, it was squarely motivated by race and not religion. Although when it comes to Islam, many seem to imagine that Islam is a religion for brown people, or maybe black people. And the truth is, it's not. It's a universal religion. This attack targeted Muslims, though, because according to the manifesto released by the attacker, they are the most hated group in society. I do not know if they are the most hated or not. I do know many hold them in rather low regard. But just because a community is not well liked or not popular doesn't mean that that justifies them being killed. The man who did this claimed that the answer to the question of if he was a Christian or not was complicated. The media will probably say he was, but more than likely he wasn't, but holds on to some elements of an identity in Christianity, and I don't mean Christian identity in the racist organization way, just the cultural means, simply out of an identification with his European heritage. There are some white nationalists who hold on to a Christian identity, which again is not meant to be the Christian identity movement, out of a sense of connection to Europe and its past and its civilization, but who don't truly believe in Christianity. And that is not a no true Scotsman fallacy, they say it themselves, as the man's manifesto here said. The manifesto was entitled The Great Replacement, and of course its rather notorious author, a man by the name of Brinton Tarrant, stated in his manifesto that the answer to whether he was Christian or not was complicated. It really isn't. Either you are a Christian or you are not. I suspect, based on its complicated answer, that he is one that falls into that camp, that identifies with Christianity on a cultural level, but either does not believe in its actual teachings, or is uncertain about them. Many seem to think this was an attack on Islam as a religion. But it's obvious if you read his manifesto that it was based upon race. He seems to commit the common fallacy of assuming that Islam belongs to brown people. He does seem to be aware that people convert to Islam, but he seems to think that Muslims should all be brown and that it's equated with a certain race, notably of Middle Eastern descent. But Islam is a universal religion, and this attack, while it does capitalize on people's fears of Muslims, was primarily motivated by his hatred of their ethnicity and his desire to secure a homeland for whites. The manifesto, of course, denies that he hates people of other colors. He only hates the fact that they are moving in to white lands and displacing white people. I can't know for sure if he actually hates other races or simply wishes them expelled. But what I do know is that he, along with his accomplices, are murderers. And the fact that this murder had to happen in a place called ChristChurch, a place named after the Prince of Peace, who told us to turn the other cheek. And yes, atheists, yes, he said, I come not to bring peace but a sword. Yes, atheists, he said, bring my enemies and slay them before me. The slay them before me passage is a parable, not a true story. Jesus did say it, but he put it in the mouth of a fictional king. I come not to bring peace but a sword is a metaphor. I am not saying that as an excuse. It's obvious from the text. But let us not discuss that here. And I know the internet well enough to know I need that disclaimer. Jesus taught to turn the other cheek and to love even our enemies. And while the people who were attacked were not Christian, while the people who did the attacks aren't Christian, while the majority of people in New Zealand are no longer Christian, I think that the message of love should be respected and adhered to by all peoples, regardless. And I also think that, especially in a city named after a man who said it, these sorts of acts should not be carried out. My prayers and deepest condolences go out to the families of those who have been killed and to those who have been killed themselves. I shall pray for their souls. And I lament their passing in such a violent fashion. We live in such an evil time, and a time that spawns such evil acts. And I can only hope that such evil will one day end. As I said, I wish to stop this video on a commemoration of St. Patrick. I had originally intended to do a fun, light-hearted video, and while I hadn't decided exactly which one of these things I was going to do, I was going to either give a little trivia about St. Patrick, go over his life maybe, read St. Patrick's breastplate, something fun. But I can't in good conscience do a light-hearted and fun thing. But I still wish to honor him. St. Patrick truly followed in the teachings of Christ and sought not vengeance on his former captors and slave masters, but love and compassion. Perhaps, instead of looking at foreigners as invaders, we can look at them as St. Patrick, people who have much to offer us and to teach us. I'm not saying we must convert to their religion or change our culture for theirs. But sometimes people who come from outside can contribute. And as for race, as for ethnicity, that should never be a primary concern. Even from the argument of heritage, saying which heritage is it, white or black or Asian, a child of mixed race can claim both heritages. Both are their birthright. The truth of the matter is this. St. Patrick did not care that it was a different people he wished to convert and his heart yearned for. And Jesus welcomed all people to his embrace. And Muhammad, the great prophet, who gave us the Holy Quran, he did not turn people away based upon his race. Islam is a universal religion. Christianity is a universal religion. So in that spirit of St. Patrick, I ask, let us all remember and pray for and think upon those who died and those they left behind. I have little else to say, so I will be ending this now. In the name of St. Patrick, I wish you all a good and blessed life. Thank you, God bless, and goodbye.